Choosing your main weapon in Monster Hunter Wilds can feel overwhelming at first. I mean, technically every weapon can take down every monster. That's part of the beauty of the game. But let's be honest, some weapons just make your life a lot easier. And when you're spending hours farming upgrade materials, the last thing you want is to invest in something that doesn't fit your playstyle. That's exactly why today we're breaking down a full weapon tier list to help you figure out what's truly worth your time. In this Monster Hunter Wilds best weapon guide, we're ranking all 14 weapons based on what they actually bring into battle: damage potential, utility, ease of use, and overall performance. Whether you're a newcomer trying to pick your first main or a veteran thinking about switching things up, this list is here to save you time, resources, and maybe even a few frustrating hunts. So let's jump in and find out which weapons dominate the wilds. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking weapons in Monster Hunter Wilds. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching. The weapons in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right: Lance. You know, that one friend who never panics, never faints, and somehow always survives the chaos? Yeah, that is the Lance in Monster Hunter Wilds. Sitting comfortably in B tier, the Lance is not here to dazzle you with fireworks, but it will absolutely glue itself to a monster and make it regret every life choice. Compared to previous titles, it feels way more mobile and fluid now, thanks to smoother guard transitions and more counterattacks woven directly into its combos. You are no longer just standing there behind a shield, you are reacting, adjusting, poking, and punishing in real time. It is steady, reliable, and honestly kinda stubborn in the best way possible. And let's talk about the new toys. Triple Thrust adds that satisfying burst of pressure, Payback Thrust rewards you for smart defensive play, and Charge Counter lets you turn a monster's aggression into your own highlight moment. These additions push the Lance's damage higher, so it can keep up with the other 13 weapons in the game. The problem? Everyone else also got stronger, so the Lance ends up in this weird almost there zone. It is better, it hits harder, it feels smoother, but the goalposts keep moving. Still, if you enjoy consistency, control, and that unbreakable frontline energy, the Lance remains one of the most dependable picks in Monster Hunter Wilds. The weapons in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right: Hunting Horn, Hammer, and Switch Axe. If you have ever wanted to bonk monsters while simultaneously being the most popular person in the lobby, the Hunting Horn is calling your name. Sitting proudly in A tier in Monster Hunter Wilds, it climbed up thanks to the Gogmazio's Artian weapons, which come packed with an excellent selection of songs. Yes, it takes serious effort to squeeze out optimal damage on your own, but that is part of the charm. You are not just attacking, you are performing. And in multiplayer, you are basically the reason everyone survives and hits harder. With the right horn, you can grant attack up, earplugs, and stamina use reduction, turning your squad into a well-oiled hunting machine. On top of that, mechanics like Echo Bubble add even more supportive depth. You can stack successive notes during specific moves and nail perfect input timings to maximize efficiency. It may not match the raw speed and burst of faster weapons, but the comfort and utility it brings to a team is unmatched when played by someone who knows their rhythm. In the hands of a true maestro, the Hunting Horn does not just support the hunt, it conducts it. Now let us talk about pure, unapologetic bonk energy. The Hammer holds its place in A tier as the weapon that looks at a monster's head and says, "That is mine." It delivers heavy, chunky hits that can knock down even the toughest beasts, trading that power for commitment during charge attacks. You have to mean it when you swing. But when you connect, oh, it feels amazing. Recent title updates have been kind to the Hammer. Offset attacks are no longer limited to upswings. You can now perform them with charged upswing and mighty charge upswing as well, which makes setting up knockouts more consistent and satisfying. Those knockdowns create massive openings for your team to unload damage. The downside? The range is short and it takes real effort and proper skill management to match the damage output of higher tier weapons. Managing charged step stamina and mighty charge attacks adds another layer of complexity. It is not easy mode, but if you love timing, positioning, and turning monsters into dizzy punching bags, the Hammer absolutely delivers. And then we have the Switch Axe, the weapon that cannot decide what it wants to be, so it chooses to be everything. Also sitting in A tier, it combines long reach, heavy hitting attacks, and knockback immunity to stay aggressive in the thick of the fight. It does have a learning curve, mainly because you are juggling multiple gauges at once. At first, it feels like you are managing a small control panel mid-battle, but stick with it and it starts to click beautifully. The switch axe also shines in a dodge-focused playstyle. Its sidesteps can be enhanced with evade extender or evade window, letting you weave in and out of danger with style. On top of that, it now has access to an offset attack, giving it a strong counter option when timed correctly. Once you get comfortable balancing offense, gauge management, and mobility, the switch axe feels incredibly rewarding. It is flashy, powerful, and just technical enough to make you feel smart every time you pull off a clean combo. The weapons in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right: heavy bowgun, gun lance, sword and shield, insect glaive, and charge blade. If you like your hunts loud, calculated, and slightly unfair for the monster, welcome to S tier territory. These are the weapons that do not just participate in the hunt, they dictate it. And we are starting with the walking artillery unit itself. The heavy bowgun earns its S tier badge by pumping out relentless damage, especially when you lean into the wounding mechanic and activate ignition mode at the right time. With the correct elemental ammunition and a proper build, it becomes a sustained damage machine. And the best part? It is not just offense. The heavy bowgun still maintains strong defensive options, letting you hold your ground while unloading absurd amounts of damage from a safe distance. It also brings utility to multiplayer with support ammunition like paralysis ammo and demon ammo. So not only are you shredding the monster's health bar, you are also setting up your teammates for success. Yes, movement is slow and spacing is critical, but once you master positioning and commit to that heavy gunner mindset, you will consistently deliver some of the highest damage numbers in the game. Then there is the gun lance, the weapon that looked at a lance and said, "What if this exploded?" Still firmly planted in S tier, the gun lance blends offense and defense beautifully. Many of its attacks are seamlessly integrated into its guarding mechanics, and now you can even counter directly out of a simple guard. It feels aggressive without ever feeling reckless. Even though shelling received a nerf, the gun lance was compensated with stronger elemental scaling and improved worm stake damage. That trade-off gives it more flexibility in builds and playstyles. You are not locked into one approach. Between explosive pressure and rock-solid defense, the gun lance remains a terrifyingly consistent top-tier option. The sword and shield quietly walks back into S tier like it owns the place. With increased invincibility frames on its backstep and access to perfect guards that can nullify most attacks with minimal penalty, it is one of the safest weapons in Monster Hunter Wilds. You can make mistakes and still recover gracefully, which is a huge deal at higher difficulty levels. It also gained Charge Chop as a strong new offensive tool, while Perfect Rush continues to be a devastating damage option during openings. It might not look as flashy as some of the heavier weapons, but do not underestimate it. The sword and shield can cut tails, stun monsters, block attacks, and even use items without sheathing. That level of flexibility makes it the ultimate jack of all trades, and in skilled hands, it absolutely keeps up with the best. Now let us take to the skies. The Insect Glaive remains S tier and continues to dominate aerial combat. It blends grounded, charged attacks with fluid airborne combos, all while managing Kinsects to gather extracts for buffs. It is technical, yes. You are aiming, holding inputs, and juggling buffs mid-fight. It demands focus, but when everything clicks, it feels incredible. The new Spiral Slash deals impressive damage, though it consumes all your extracts as a trade-off. And with the return of Jumping Advancing Slash, you can chain aerial attacks and mount monsters consistently. If you enjoy verticality and stylish aggression, the Insect Glaive still reigns supreme in the air. Finally, we have the Charge Blade, the spreadsheet weapon, the lab experiment, and absolutely S tier. It delivers monstrous damage through file explosions from element discharges and relentless raw output with Savage Axe. But make no mistake, this weapon is not beginner friendly. Much of its core design carries over from World, yet now one of its strongest tools, Savage Axe, is locked behind perfect guards, monster mounts, and focus strikes. It is methodical and unforgiving. Mess up your charge cycle, mistime your transitions, or mishandle your guard points, and you lose valuable damage or risk deflections. But if you master its rhythm, understand its guard points, and embrace its high-risk, high-reward nature, the Charge Blade becomes one of the most devastating counter-focused weapons in the entire game. The weapons in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right: light bowgun, dual blades, bow, longsword, and greatsword. If S tier weapons dominate the hunt, S plus tier weapons absolutely bully it. These are the picks that make monsters look like they forgot to upgrade their armor. And we are starting with the light bowgun, the definition of controlled chaos. The light bowgun sits comfortably at the top because it is simple to pick up and brutally effective when mastered. With the introduction of rapid fire mode, you can unload a relentless stream of shots from medium range while slipping around the battlefield with quick dashes. The core game plan is beautifully straightforward. Lock onto weak points, use base or elemental ammunition with rapid fire, and then unleash first shot eagle strike shot to shatter multiple wounds at once. It is clean, efficient, and devastating. It is also one of the most beginner-friendly weapons in Monster Hunter Wilds. Its mobility gives you breathing room, letting you deal strong, sustained damage without constantly risking your life. That said, it is more balanced than in past titles. Critical distance has been shortened and special ammo is more limited. It is no longer the undisputed king of everything, but it absolutely remains one of the strongest and most accessible options in the game. Then we have the dual blades. If patience is not your thing and you prefer turning into a blender with legs, welcome home. Placed firmly in S+ tier, dual blades are among the fastest weapons available, built around rapid hits and constant evasive movement. In Demon Boost mode, your standard dodge roll transforms into a spinning attack that can chain into a second spin. You are literally repositioning while dealing damage. Blade Dance has also been reworked into 3 separate moves, and you can weave in Demon Flurry combos between them. This change reduces the commitment required for your strongest strings, meaning you stay mobile without sacrificing damage. There is almost no downtime. You are always attacking, always dodging, always pressuring. It is relentless in the best possible way. Now let us talk about the bow, which has gone through some serious evolution. Sitting in S+ tier, it now revolves around the trick arrow gauge. Coatings are no longer simply applied at will. Instead, you expend this gauge, which is also used to fire tracer arrows. Once a tracer arrow lands, your subsequent shots home in on that impact point. Yes, it is as satisfying as it sounds. These changes push the bow's damage even higher, but they also raise the skill ceiling. You are now managing both stamina and the trick arrow gauge simultaneously. It demands precision and awareness. However, if you put in the time to master it, the bow becomes a fluid, high-damage weapon capable of standing toe-to-toe with the most dangerous monsters in the game. The longsword continues its tradition of being outrageously stylish and outrageously strong. Rated at the top of S+ tier, it thrives on its incredible counter toolkit, including Foresight Slash and II Slash. These moves reward sharp timing and let you turn defense into immediate offense. Spirit Charge makes building your spirit gauge much easier, and once you reach maximum level, Crimson Slash becomes available for even more explosive damage. On top of that, the longsword retains Spirit Thrust from Iceborne and EI Spirit Slash from Sunbreak. The result is a weapon packed with high damage options, smooth gauge flow, and some of the most satisfying counters in the entire game. And finally, the Greatsword, the classic. The oversized slab of destruction. It earns its S+ tier status thanks to major quality of life upgrades through focus mode and improvements to True Charged Slash. Instead of relying on the old tackle combo loop, you can now chain multiple true charge slashes as long as you have wounds available to destroy with Focus Slash Perforate. Focus mode even allows you to redirect your true charge slash mid-charge, dramatically reducing the risk of whiffing your most powerful attack. On top of that, offset attacks and power clashes create openings you can immediately convert into massive damage windows. When everything lines up, the Great Sword delivers some of the biggest numbers in Monster Hunter Wilds. Slow? Yes. Subtle? Not at all. Effective? Absolutely. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.